Hey everybody, it's playtime, and today I am going to make some lasagna. And back in the day, lasagna was kind of my thing because lasagna is the perfect vehicle to use all of your ingredients, leftover or not. And today's lasagna, I had some hamburger on hand, so it's going to be a beef lasagna, but I couldn't decide whether to use a red sauce or a white sauce, so I'm going to use both. We're going to call it a red and white meat lasagna. So let's do it. I'm going to spray a skillet with a little bit of non-stick cooking spray, talk much. And next thing we're going to do is crumble in our ground beef. They're doing kind of some construction at the house next door, so you might hear Kelly talking a lot during all this and maybe even some power tool noises, but hopefully we'll get through all that. Okay, our ground beef is in. We're gonna cook it till it's not pink anymore. We're gonna season up our ground beef with some salt and pepper, some dried oregano, some dried basil, and a little bit of red pepper flake. Crush it up and stir it around. For a little extra flavor, I'm going to add in some sweet onion. Cook those down with our beef. And also a little bit of minced garlic. Our ground beef is ready to come out off the heat. And now we're going to put together our white sauce, our bechamel sauce. Because this dish is Italian and we're going to make it, instead of using butter for my bechamel sauce, I'm using some roasted garlic oil that I had to use up anyway because it's time for me to mix. And because we like to season every layer, we're going to add a little pinch of salt and pepper, a little pinch of dried oregano, a little pinch of dried basil, and when this gets bubbly, we're going to add in our flour and make our roux. Okay, bubbling up, and in comes our flour. Stir that around to incorporate it and make a nice smooth roux. Perfect consistency. And now we're going to let it cook off for a little bit to get rid of some of the starchiness. Now in goes our half and half to make it a creamy cream sauce. And you may need to switch over to a whisk for a minute. And when this reaches the boiling point, it will be at its optimum thickness. We either need to thin it out or thicken it up a little more. So let's see what happens. We'll keep stirring it up till it gets there. We have reached the boiling point and our sauce is still a little thick, so in goes some more liquid. That ought to do it. And now we are ready to build our lasagna. I have divided our ground beef into equal portions. One's going to be red, one's going to be white. So we're going to take half of it out. This batch is going to be the red one. I like to sauce the meat in lasagna because it keeps things moist. I also add extra sauce to the noodles too, but I like to sauce the ingredients of layers in between because that pasta absorbs all that liquid. Okay, so here we have our red meat. And the next thing we're going to do is our white red meat. I was right about the bechamel sauce. It came out nice consistency. In goes a little bit. Mix that up with our other hamburger onions and seasonings. And there's the white side, the white layer. A couple of cups of ricotta here. We're going to season it with some salt and pepper. A little bit of dried basil, a little bit of dried oregano, and a tiny pinch of red pepper flake. And to act as a binder, we're going to throw in a beaten egg. And now we're going to mix it up. Till it's well blended. Our ricotta is all mixed up nicely. And we have our red sauce meat and our white sauce meat and some cheese and some noodles that I've cooked. And now we're gonna build our lasagna. I've just turned the oven on to 350 to preheat while we build this. And I'm gonna add just a little splash of olive oil that I'm gonna spread around. I ran out of non-stick cooking spray, but I think this is gonna make it more flavorful anyway. So that's how we're going to reduce sticking in this particular lasagna. First thing that goes in is a thin layer of red sauce. That should be plenty. And we're gonna spread it around the bottom. All the way out to the edges. And in comes our cooked lasagna noodles. I really wish that I could buy ready-to-use frozen lasagna sheets like I used to use in commercial kitchens, but as far as I know, those are not available in regular grocery stores. I haven't been able to find any ever. I think I need to turn you over, flatten you out a little bit. They got a little curly. Okay. Next will be a layer of ricotta. Let's flatten you out and spread this ricotta over top. Don't worry, it'll work. Make a nice even layer. Like I say, you want to go all the way out to the edges. You may need to add some more. Another spoonful. Ought to do it. Spread it out nice and evenly. Get Mr. Curly over here to lay flat. And that worked. Our first layer of cheese is on. Because we started with red, our first meat layer is going to be the white one. Because it looks like we're going to end with a bechamel top. So, red and white and red and white and red and white. And we're going to evenly move this around. I should have cooked more burger, but that's all right. This will be fine. Because we're going to do more layers. And now our white meat layer is on. On top of that, we're going to sprinkle a layer of shredded Parmesan. This is going to be a cheesy one. Some shredded mozzarella. Okay, now it's time for another layer of noodles. And we're going to give this a press to make sure that everything fits. Next comes another layer of lasagna. Oven is ready. Sorry, this isn't ricotta, not lasagna. It's gonna make lasagna, but and spread that around. I may have to trim these edges off before we finish this, but we will wait and see. Okay, next layer of ricotta is on. We're gonna follow that up with our red meat sauce. Spread that around. Want that exposed noodle at the end there. Okay, looking good. Some more Parmigiano. And because this is getting to be our top layer, I think we're just going to do Parmesan in this layer, because the top of this lasagna will be finished with mozzarella. Our final layer of noodles is going on. Looks like I cooked a couple too many, but that's all right. We'll find something else to do with them. And without gloves this time, I'm going to give them a press. Our final layer is going to be our white sauce. I'm really more of a white sauce girl than I am a red sauce girl, but this will make a nice blend. And we want to make sure the noodles are completely covered because we don't want them all dried up on us. I don't know if you can hear Kelly panting in the background, but she is looking forward to licking all these utensils. Okay, and I'm gonna have to put this on a baking sheet to bake it because it might overflow, but looking nice. Just top this off with some more shredded mozzarella. All right, covered and cheesed and layered, and for just a little bit of color, I'm gonna just sprinkle a little bit of dried basil over top. And because I have fresh basil in my garden, when we serve this, we will probably use some of that too. And in we go. We're going into 350 degrees for, it's probably going to take about 45 minutes or so. Our red and white meat lasagna is out of the oven. Lightly browned on top, cheesy, bubbly, and we're going to let it rest for a little while, and then we're going to slice it and see what it looks like on the inside. And it's going to be delicious. Here's our red and white meat lasagna. That's what we look like from the side view. And in the middle, it's creamy and meaty and cheesy. And like I said, because I have some fresh basil finally, we're gonna just give it a little chiffonade to decorate it up. And there you have it, ready to serve, and it's gonna be great. Thank you for joining me for a little trip down lasagna memory lane. That was fun for me, and it's gonna be yummy. Here's what we look like on our fork. And it's gonna be a tasty bite. Thanks again.